This self-indulgent Tory party is having a fight about a leader who they should have known from the start is not fit for office. Boris Johnson is too preoccupied defending his rule-breaking. And as day follows night, when it comes to the National Health Service, you can never trust the Tories. We're witnessing every day the broken spectacle of a Prime Minister mired in deceit and deception and unable to lead. To tackle the immediate crisis, to bring down waiting times by recruiting, training and... The scandal of Partygate, for want of a better word, but what's happened in recent weeks where it's become obvious that whilst the vast majority of the British public were obeying the laws that the government made, the government and the Prime Minister were partying in Downing Street. I think that's added to mental health stress because so many people are now asking themselves, well, why on earth did I do that then, whilst they were doing what they were doing? And as well as cigarette advertising. What we've now got to a situation where you've got a Prime Minister who has lost the moral authority to lead. And just when you need, because we're not out of the pandemic, a government that has that moral authority to lead, we've lost it with this Prime Minister. And I don't just mean the fact that he now admits that he was at parties in Downing Street. I mean that what he said along the way. When I first challenged the Prime Minister in relation to these allegations back in December, he stood at the dispatch box and said, I've been assured there were no parties. So his first defence was there weren't any. And then, remember, that video came out and showing the rehearsal of a press conference and what you might have to say if somebody said, were you at the party? And when I put that to the Prime Minister, his response to the dispatch box was to say, effectively, that's the first I knew of it. I'm furious about these parties of which I knew nothing. And then we had another go last Wednesday where I put to him the invitation and the fact that he was at one of the parties. And he then changed his defence to say, I was at the party, but I didn't realise it was a party. But he went on to say, and this bit's really important, he went on to say, I now wish I had got all the staff in from Downing Street. So he's giving the impression that he appreciated back in 2020 that he was finally what he twigged after sort of wading through the bottles and the food. He finally twigged he might be at a party, having sort of said hello to everybody with a glass of wine. This must be a party. And then he says at the dispatch box, well, I wish I'd sort of got everybody in because I'd obviously stumbled on this party in my own back garden. Absolute horror. And after half an hour, I'd worked out it was a party, so I should have stopped it happening. Well, how does that fit with his first defence, which was there were no parties? Or his second defence, that in December 2021, he was furious about he just found out about them. If he's now saying back in 2020, he found out after 25 minutes it was a party, and he should have got everybody in. And I think that has hugely undermined, his moral authority to lead. The moral authority matters in relation to enforcing the COVID rules, but we've got other massive challenges facing this country, massive challenges. We've got a Prime Minister who is absent, he's literally in hiding at the moment, and unable to lead. And so that's why I've concluded that he's got to go.